Hey guys, I'm Deva, and today we are going to take a look on the new upcoming Archer Garrison, as well as the potential pairings for it and the used formations. And I also got some new information about the active skill, which I will share with you. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So we start off with the active skill, and you might wonder, what was on my mind when I asked VIP support about the active skill? Because it's not straightforward, and the not straightforward part is this 80% affected by their troops attack part. Because we all were wondering, true damage does not use your attack stat and the enemy defense stat to be calculated. So what does this 80% percentage thingy mean? And basically the answer from VIP support was, this is to prevent players using tier 1 units to make a really strong active skill, even though the garrison normally should perform really bad with tier 1 units versus tier 5 units. So basically this 80% percentage is affected by the attack stat from the units you are using. So I have no clue how much percentage this is in case you are using tier 4 and tier 5, because obviously tier 5 is probably the 80% margin. So on tier 4 units we might expect a bit lower percentage of this 80% calculations, or maybe like 70% or something in this area. So you basically have to understand the heal strength is the affected thingy on this, or basically the heal strength stays obviously the same, but the percentage from the heal strength which is used to calculate the true damage factor is affected by the attack stat of the units. It's really complex. This is also what VIP support said to me. It's way too complex to explain, but basically it's just to prevent exploitation of the true damage to use low tier units. This is all what you need to know about it. Obviously the second and third skill I don't have to explain to you, they are pretty straightforward. So let's jump to the fourth and the expertise. The fourth skill is also pretty straightforward, so I won't explain to you how it works, but the expertise seemed to be somewhat misunderstood by some people, so I will clarify it to you, at least what my opinion is how it's going to work due to the wording. And this is, you will always take 25% more counter attack damage from the garrison, and in some cases you will take 40%. And this case is always calculated separately. This is due to the fact that it's worded target troop, which is the exact same wording as an ability in the Golden Kingdom, where it says the AoE skill you are using might inflict 300% more damage to the target, and it's calculated for each target troop separately. And this is the exact same wording over here. So my opinion is that basically all swarmers will take 40% counter-attack damage, because they will always have less units than the garrison, unless the garrison is almost dead, but then it doesn't matter anyway. And the rally will take from time to time 25 or 40% depending on reinforcements and units. Yeah, you know what I mean. But basically it's not that it's dependent on the currently attacked troop, because then it would be worded as on Scipio Aemilianus or Eleanor, which says a current target. So let's start talking about potential pairings for CY, and first and foremost you might consider Shaya, since she's the new archer commander, having also true damage and a mighty healing factor, which is perfectly synergizing with CY's kit. The second skill is also really nice with 35% health for archers, which is really amazing. But then we have a slight issue with the third and the fourth skill, since they are not working at all, which is a pretty decent issue for this commander. And also the expertise is okay, especially if you are getting swarmed, because then the 3 seconds cooldown due to the shortened skill cycle kinda makes it as a permanent skill. You will have basically permanently 10% more defense and 20% more normal damage. But still, this commander doesn't really provide anything which is enhancing the anti-swarm capability of CY. The, in my opinion, most versatile second commander for CY is going to be Hercules, since he is already providing a lot of anti-swarm capabilities. has shielding, which enhances the survivability of the garrison as well. And also the active skill is not interfering with the active skill of CY, unlike it's going to be with Shaya and CY, since those active skills are identical and they will cancel out each other because active skills can't stack on top of each other. So let's start talking about the formations you should invest in case you're an archer garrison in your kingdom. And this is first of all the Testudo formation, because the new garrison is most likely going to be used with Hercules. And in this case you need the shielding plus healing formation, which is the Testudo formation. And for the future you should also start investing into the circle formation, because with the next release of an archer garrison it's pretty likely that it might be a healing plus true damage commander once again. And in this case you also want to have a circle formation ready to be used in this case. Regarding the Testudo formation, it might also be the case that in the future there might be archer garrison which is using true damage in combination with mighty shielding. So this might also be a possibility, so it's pretty good if you have the Testudo formation as well. And also for upcoming leadership garrison we might get a better version of Hercules, so it's definitely nothing bad if you invest into Testudo together with Circle, since currently archers only invest into wedge formation, you don't have to use anything else, so it's pretty nice if you go for wedge, Testudo and Circle formation. So by investing into formations I mainly mean that you should use those as preferred formations in your state forum, but don't open choice chests yet, since we have no results about the garrison pairings yet. So if you do not have to open the chests, why should you? Just wait until the tests are out and then you can push on the preferred formation which you want to use. So if you want to use CY Hera for example, then you are going to invest into the Testudo formation, or if you're going to use CY with Shaya, you're going to invest into the Circle formation. Anyway, if you found your video informative, feel free to share it with your archer mains, and as always, see you on the next one. Ciao ciao!